that City Council put on the ballot for this November pass. Of course, that will be up to voters when they go to the polls in Beaver Creek. Mike Campbell, News Center 7.
And the city is also asking voters to pass a levy for some street repairs. Keep in mind, voters failed to pass an income tax plan this spring. New tonight at 11 o'clock, Grammy-winning rapper Coolio has died. Born artist Leon Ivey Jr. His career took off in 1994 with the release of his debut album, It Takes a Thief. He is best known for his Grammy-winning song, Gangsta's Paradise, from the soundtrack of the Michelle Pfeiffer film, Dangerous Minds. Coolio was 59.
And now, your Storm Center 7 forecast with meteorologist Robert Gauthreaux III.
Dangerous Minds was the first rap album my sister ever got, so that was probably my first exposure to rap, you know, I think, aside from like Whoop There It Is or something, but like an actual album full of rap, so there's that.
You have your sister to thank, right?
I guess so.
Being more
Put me into the rap game.
In your music interests.
I did.
And looking at what's going on to the south of us in Florida, you know, 2 million people without power, and those are power customers. Flooding widespread. Robert and I were talking during the break. I've watched all sorts of coverage today. The strength of the storm, it literally pulled water out of rivers.
Yeah.
People said this afternoon seeing the bottom of riverbeds, no water in it, before that water came rushing back in.
It's amazing what the low pressure and the wind can do. There were talks about that during Katrina as well. It just takes the water out. It's that strong, and then it rushes it back in. The tide probably also helps as well. So this is a bad storm. This is one of the worst ones we've had in quite a while. And I don't like to say that lightly either, but it really is a pretty bad storm. Here's a look outside now in Orlando. I believe that's the Rosen Plaza Hotel in southwest Orlando, and it's raining quite a bit, and it's a little bit windy, but this is a little displaced from the center of the storm. I mentioned the center was over the Kissimmee Prairie Reserve earlier, so this is off to the west side, but that's where, or the left side I should say, but that's where most of the rainfall is at the moment. So still, as this goes through the central part of Florida, it's a pretty bad situation. 52 degrees right now in Dayton, however. Our winds are from the north, about 6 miles per hour, and that's bringing in the cool, dry air across the region. Now you can see, looking at the satellite imagery, or just the cloud cover, notice how massive that eye wall was. We had mentioned that the eye was as big as Montgomery County, so it could swallow all of Dayton. And it was a massive eye wall, made its way into Fort Myers, and it's weakened. The eye has disappeared, but you can still see some pretty intense circulation with that. If you head across the rest of the United States, we're not looking at as much cloud cover. We have some of the lower clouds that were across our region today. You can see that in that very light gray, but even that's starting to dissolve a little bit, which will help our temperatures drop a bit into the low 40s. You can see about 44 degrees by 8 a.m. We'll reach the low 40s tonight, likely only reaching the mid-60s tomorrow. That's still below average for this time of year. We're typically in the mid-70s. So 52 degrees is the temperature in Dayton. A few of y'all are already in the 40s, like Sydney's at 48, Greenville's at 46, and Springfield at 49 degrees. And like I said, winds are out of the south, pretty much, or the north, excuse me, pretty much everywhere. And so north of us is cooler air. That's why this cool air we've been experiencing now for the last several days is staying in place. And it'll likely keep our temperatures cool, at least below average, for the next week or so. Now, we have more days likely in the 70s coming, but as far as tomorrow, we're likely staying in the 60s. Here's the futurecast, looking at some mostly clear skies. Again, that will allow the heat that we did get from today to radiate back out into space. Now, it was cloudy a lot of the day, so we didn't get as much heat as we could have, but we will see some cooler temperatures tonight with the clearing skies. Moving into Thursday afternoon, a few clouds, but generally looking at some sunshine. And then as we head into Friday, too, pretty quiet forecast, maybe a few clouds kind of coming in with the moisture down from the southeast. Now let's take a look. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, once we get a little bit of that moisture, a little bit of that cloud cover, could see an isolated shower, but right now, keeping the forecast relatively dry for Saturday. Temperatures right around 70 degrees. We don't get much above that, so climatologically speaking, this is cooler than average for this time of year, so it seems like once we got in the fall, we're stuck in it now for at least the next 7 days or so.
All right, sir, thank you. The National Energy Assistance Directors Association thanks